We're good.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Sports Blitz. It is Thursday. If you're in a cave, welcome back, welcome out. And if you're not in a cave, well, I guess you're watching us. I guess that's probably what it is. I'm Doug. We have Robbie. Robbie, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing great. You know, just live sports are back on, Doug. Live
That's
sports
right.
are back on my television right now.
That's right.
Opening day of MLB baseball is back.
That's
so
right.
I'm in heaven right now.
Not excited at all. I can care less. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Nope. Listen.
Wonderful.
I get it. I get hockey starts up in a few weeks, Doug. So you're
That's
good
right.
there.
But you know what? Besides that, we did we've done one Rivers Day Camp episode. We are about to do episode number 2 of the Rivers Day Camp experience. And I will tell you, the guest that we have right now is what I will consider to be the most famous Rivers Day Camp guy, counselor, basketball guy. He spent some time on the waterfront. You wouldn't believe it, but he did. I'm telling you, this guy is the guy to talk to when it comes to stories, when it comes to everything. We are so pumped up and so glad to have him. It's George Physic. George, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being on.
Okay, how long is your show?
It's
I don't know. You haven't told me.
That's the first part. We just started it, and all of a sudden it's how long is the show? Yeah, it is started, George. You already started. So you could start by telling us how. I'm not really sure how long it is. It could be like an hour or so. Is that okay?
Okay.
Is that all right? So basically, wanted to know how long were you at Rivers, and start giving us some stories, because you experienced a lot of things there. And I'll tell you, you are a very special guest to us. We are so glad to see you. And just how that's my first question to you. How long have you been there, and give us some experience?
Well, I worked there for 17 years. I remember when they didn't have the athletic building. I remember on Mondays and Fridays they used to have the hot dogs and hamburgers outside
Love the
for
good
the day campers. I remember that clearly. I remember the swimming area. They used to have in the morning they had instructions. In the afternoon was free swim. I remember that.
Right. Yep.
I remember the.
Did you teach a little swim, George? Did you teach a little swim?
I believe at that time all camp counselors had to give instructions.
Had to teach, right?
Had to teach, and then also in the afternoon, there was free swim. So basically, that's how it went. It was probably the most organized and most structured day camp program that I've ever seen. I mean, it was like, you go from one event to another event to another event to another event. Then you had lunch. Then you go to another event. It varies from the little children, which I thought was excellent, all the way up to CITs who were teenagers at that time. That was the age level. I thought that the staff was excellent. They did a great job for the 17 years I was there. I've been there, and it was sad to see it being terminated.
Yeah.
I thought that Mark did a great job. Him and his father. And unfortunately, when his father passed away, he took over, did a great job. And then when he left, Ed and his wife was running the show, and they did a great job for continuing the day camp. The day camp was probably the best day camp I've ever seen or worked at. And that's the reason why I came back every year. And so what happened was when it was terminated, it was kind of it was like graduating from high school and you will not see your friends anymore.
Right.
You may see one or two, but you have this. I don't know if you guys experienced, but I've experienced. I've been to school with friends. I developed friendships since I was 6 or 7 years old. And then by the time I was 18, graduating from high school, some of them I would never see again. And so it was kind of a lone. You always get this low of wow. You're happy you graduated, but on the other end, it's like I may not see these individuals again. So that's the way it was. But the camp, great job. I love the colors, red, and I still have some shirts. I still have some shirts. I've had so many shirts. I don't know what to do with them. I mean,
all sleeveless, right? All sleeveless.
Sleeveless. They gotta be
well,
sleeveless,
most
right?
of them are sleeveless. There's some that have the sleeve on it, but basically there was some great people there, and I just thought I had a great time from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And I remember always walking with you guys, even though we might have been tired, might have had a headache, but we always say, "Listen, it was a great day." And I like what they did. I remember we used to at the end of the day, I remember where we had to put the campers in their parents' vehicles, and that took about an hour and a half.
At least.
Versus the buses when they developed.
I was part of that too, trying to get those.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just a bullhorn, right? I mean, the bullhorn was okay, but then the kids weren't paying attention.
Well, it was 90 degrees outside. If you didn't have a hat on, you was in trouble. So I thought they did a great job transferring from the car system to the bus system, because I thought it made more common sense to do it, and it was quicker and faster. And once the campers get on that bus to go home, basically it took 15 to 20 minutes, or 30 minutes to top.
It was much quicker because George, you and I actually talked about the fact that when I first started, the counselors were actually driving kids in the rivers.
Yes, you said that.
And the counselors would get extra pay for that. I think they were paid for.
You said that. You told me that.
They got extra pay to drive. Carl Wagner was one of my first drivers. I don't know if you guys know him, but Carl Wagner was one of my first drivers at camp, and he used to pick me up with the Rivers van, and we used to go and pick up other kids and then get to the camp. It was an easier way to be able to save on cost, because once you went to the buses, at least what Ed told me, once you went to the buses were really expensive. So exactly. But those afternoons in front of that what I call the old gym,
the half,
afternoons, the half, and in that road right there that went around the half, we had the kids on the field in lines or somewhat lines, and then the cars we'd say, "Okay, all ready," and the cars would start going with the parents, and the parents would just pick up the kids.
That was a long drawn out process. So I'm kind of glad they did go to the buses, because it was more of it was more quicker, faster. And you don't stay out in that heat that long.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the main thing. So I thought that was really good. But other than that, it was a great experience. I enjoyed the relationships I had with the staff and the campers, from the little ones up to the teenagers. For me, it was just a great experience. And it was for 17 years. Like I told Ed, I felt, I was having fun. I had fun every day with you guys, the campus and everything. It was a privilege to work there.
It was. And now, George, just for the folks at home, when did you make the transition from general counselor to running the basketball? And what was that like for you, being a big basketball guy, running basketball?
Well, basically, I think that I talked to Mark. So I told Mark. So he decided to split the duties.
Yeah.
I would do counselor, and then I would do basketball instructions. And so eventually, I did it for like one summer. Then the following summer, he said, "Just run the basketball program." So we just ran a basketball program for many years, And I miss playing football against Larry.
Larry Whitfield. Right?
Yeah, we had great times. We remember Remember, we had great times with Larry, and we would be out there just before lunch. We always seem to play football just before lunch. I remember that. So,
Oh yeah.
That was the schedule, right?
Yeah, that was the schedule. I thought the schedule was awesome. I thought whoever made up the schedule did a great job, and the people were very nice. Like I said, I thought it was the best day camp program I've ever seen or ever worked at. And I've worked at many day camp programs, but this was probably the best.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, George. The other thing that I kind of want to bring up is kind of the before camp. The before camp.
Okay.
You and I and Robbie and maybe Whit every once in a while, and maybe some other counselors, maybe Andrew Navoni, maybe a couple other guys, and we would sit in front in the field house. We'd sit in front on the bench when we all got there, and what did we talk about?
Everything. We don't know
everything. I think we talked. What I liked about it was the campers were coming in and they're saying hello, and we would welcome them. I thought that was great to welcome them, to make them feel good about themselves, that they would have a great day. And we would talk about sports. We would talk about football, basketball. We would talk about any other thing. I would always kid always get somebody about whether they had a good game or not a good game, or their sneakers. Those are nice sneakers.
Right, all the sneakers, yeah.
And the sneakers was very good. Robbie, I would say, "Where's Robbie?" Oh no, there was somebody we would always say.
Gerald. Gerald, where's Gerald?
Where's Gerald?
He was always late. He was always late. And he would make up some excuse to be like, "Oh, I was out at the softball field or whatever." Yeah.
No, he said he was in the parking lot. I said, "But Gerald, I was in the parking lot. I didn't see you."
Right.
Exactly.
And he always said he was early. He was never early.
He was a nice gentleman. He did a good job. Loved working with him. He was a joy to work with. He was just a joy. He was funny too. Always comical guy.
Yeah. What I liked about the camp is that something that I know that started at the beginning of the camp, when the camp first started, was the fact that a lot of times, Mark or his dad or even Ed would hire teachers. Mm-hmm. And the reason that they hired teachers was because they knew they're professional. They knew they dealt with kids all the time. They knew that if there was some sort of discipline that needed to happen, then it's like being in a classroom. It was so totally different. And the teachers have a more high quality when it comes to that, because they're so used to dealing with kids. I love that. A lot of camps don't do that. A lot of camps don't hire teachers or assistant teachers or people that have been in the school system. And I think that's what made the camp really, really a great camp, was because of that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was just a huge kind of situation. So George, I wanted to know, tell me some stories about Larry. Because I know you know a lot of stories about Larry, and some of these stories.
Larry and I developed a good friendship, like a brother, and we will always compete against one another. And Larry was probably a true gentleman, classy gentleman, who just loved the camp, loved playing, and he was a former football player. Him and I went to the same high school. Unfortunately, I was there. I graduated years before him, but he nice gentleman, worked hard, constantly, and I understand he worked there for many, many years, and he was great to work with. He was always supportive. He always treated everybody with dignity and respect, and whether they were campers or whether they were staff, he did a great job. And every day I enjoyed, just kidding around with him. And we just had a great brother relationship.
There was a couple times I did a little video, George, of you and Whit in the parking lot. And you guys, I'll tell you, you guys and your sports arguments. That's another thing we didn't talk about, is the fact that we were sitting on the bench.
Right.
We all got there in the morning, and we were
Yeah,
talking
we talked about
sports.
sports. Yeah.
We were talking. It was the summertime, so we were talking
Yeah.
socks. Robbie was talking socks. I was talking, God knows what. George, you were talking about, you were talking about all kinds of things. A lot of Celtics, but some other stuff too. You and I had a lot of conversations about, the Celtics and of course your
Yeah, I think
favorite.
there was, I think that it was just before they won the '08 championship. Is it '08? Yeah, '08
Yeah,
they won the
yeah.
NBA championship. And I thought once they got the big ticket, I thought they would win the NBA championship. They just needed a quality big man who can run the floor, who can rebound, play defense, and he was
Of
very
course.
aggressive. And that basically was the
Yeah,
big
but
ticket.
then,
There was no question.
yeah,
Huh?
no, I totally agree with you. And of course, your favorite player, Kelly Olynyk.
Who?
Kelly Olynyk. That was your favorite player.
Oh, the guy with the long hair?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, believe it or not, when he went to Miami,
Here it comes, Rob. Here it comes.
he went to Miami, and like I said before, the Celtics really developed him. So when he went to Miami, he turned out to be a really good ball player. Believe it or not.
Right. No.
I was somewhat surprised.
Now he's a good ball player.
No, but he developed.
Yes.
They worked him
yes.
hard, and he developed a good game.
Yes.
He left the Celtics. Miami picked him up, and then he was able to really work. He was just a regular average basketball player in the NBA. One of the things that I've been reviewing and looking at really hard is Michael Jordan.
Really?
I've been looking at a lot of his old games, looking at the inside of Michael Jordan, and I just find he was an incredible leader. He motivated his team, no matter who he played with, and losing wasn't an afterthought. When he got on that court, it was all about winning. Yep. It was all about winning. And the thing about it is,
yeah, go ahead.
What I didn't like was the fact that they could have won a seventh championship. However, the owner didn't want to sign most of the guys because they would have to give them a lot of money.
Scottie Pippen too.
He said that a lot of the guys would have, asked for big money, but to return to win another championship. And what happened was when he said that if Phil Jackson was leaving, he was gone.
Right.
I knew he was gone. He was gone.
Well, he actually at first he wasn't a real Phil Jackson fan. He really liked Doug Collins a lot. When Doug Collins
but here's the problem here's the problem with Doug Collins. Doug Collins said himself, it was time for me to go, and that's what Doug did.
Right.
So he went and he left.
Right. They also have different. They had different styles too. They had different styles. The reason he didn't like Phil Jackson was Doug Collins. The reason MJ liked Doug Collins was the fact that the offense was all geared toward MJ, right?
Well,
all geared toward MJ. But when Phil came in, and I'm watching the documentary. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what's come from documentary.
I saw the documentary. I saw all 10. I saw all 10 versions.
You saw all 10?
All 10. It's
on Netflix. It's on Netflix. I'm watching it.
I've already seen it. I've already seen it. I thought it was well done.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
I can't believe the access that they had. It's unbelievable, the access that they had at that time.
It was well done, but it was just, it's obvious. He's the best player I have ever seen in my entire life.
So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So George, when it comes to basketball, I know you have some questions too, Robbie. I just want to get this out because we're kind of talking about it.
I'm loving listening to you two.
No, it's fine. He's listening to us. I wanted to ask you, when it comes to basketball, when you had groups at Rivers,
yes,
you had groups at Rivers, what was your philosophy? What was your theory? What was your way of teaching the game? What was your way of, kind of handling certain situations? I know that you were, when I had come to the basketball, first of all, I love coming to basketball because basketball is my favorite sport anyway.
Right.
That's the first thing. But when I love coming because you didn't just say, okay, here's the ball.
Right.
Do your thing. Go and play 5-on-5 and just go and sit and put your feet up on the desk. What was your philosophy of how to teach these kids how to play and play the right way?
Well, I think the fundamentals of dribbling the ball, passing the ball, rebounding, uh, being a good teammate, playing as a team versus being as an individual. And so we would do that, and then some campers had better skills than others. And what we would do for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, okay, just go over fundamentals. You know, catch, shoot, layups, jump shots. So we would do that, and then we would get into playing. And I think the kids liked that because they wanted some kids who didn't know how to do fundamental basketball. They found out, okay, I can dribble the ball this way, I can dribble the ball that way. I pass two-handed pass.
Yep.
Okay. Or
Chest
what
pass.
I do foul
Chest
shooting.
pass.
Foul shooting is very important in a basketball game because you can win or lose in foul shooting. If you're playing for a basketball team that shoots extremely well from the foul line, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win close games because when you get fouled and you're tired, you got to be able to go in and knock those 2 down, or in some cases, 3 shots. So I enjoyed teaching, and then after teaching, it was time to play the game. And then the things that you learned during the instruction, like I told you guys, you'll be able to do it. Nice bounce passing, 2-hand pass, rebounding. You're doing that in the game. Practice makes perfect.
Right. The other thing I loved, George, was the fact that when we walked in there as counselors,
Mm-hmm.
you were like, okay, guys, let's go.
Yeah.
You didn't let the counselors sit down. You had the counselors help you with the drills, help you ref, help you do all that kind of stuff.
They did a great job.
Let me tell you, we could not, as counselors, and Robbie and I can attest to this, but we love like being with you. We love the basketball section of doing stuff because we love basketball. So it wasn't an issue with us. But there were some counselors that didn't quite like that too much because they really didn't want to get involved too much.
Well,
but
they didn't.
But George, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. You told them they need to get involved.
No nonsense.
Yeah, I loved it.
Right.
Loved it.
Yeah,
I love that.
They need to, because what happens is if they're going to develop a good relationship with the campus, then they need to participate in every event that they're there. And I remember being a counselor. I remember, and Robbie can attest to this. We every event we went to, we participated. Whether it was with wiffle ball, softball, grip ball, no matter what activity it was, all the counselors that I can remember when I started working in the Larry, we participated in. It didn't make any difference. We participated in. And I think that's great because kids see that and say, okay, then you really care about me. We're doing this together as a team. So I think that's very important. And I thought that the guys who did that had a good relationship with the campus.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. That's Robbie, do you agree? I mean, that's exactly.
Well, see, the thing is, first of all, the best part for me about basketball, other than, seeing George in action, was keeping the clock. Like I was, we gotta say, you were looking at the officials Rivers basketball clock operator, right?
Yeah.
That was my spot right there.
You did a great job, Robbie. You knew the clock. He knew the clock. He knew the score. He used to do the score. I remember him used to write it. He did the score. He did the clock. I'm talking about the 30-second clock, the regular clock. And the only person I would ask for is Robbie. I wouldn't ask for anybody else. I said, where's Robbie?
I even did for hot shots too, which for those of you who don't know, hot shots was
awesome.
was basically a shooting tournament where you would set up different point spots all along the floor, and the kids would go 2 at a time, and they'd have to make it from those certain spots. And so my job during that would be like literally on the clock, trying to keep track for both sides with spotters who were good and all, which were good and great, but like that took a lot of concentration and focus. But I loved hot shots. Hot shots is
it was great. You did a great job. You did an awesome job. Awesome job. Like I said before, it was the best 17 years I ever spent, getting up early in the morning and going out to West End, from Boston and participating in that program. I just enjoyed it. And like I said, it was a sad day for me when I spoke to Ed on that last day, him and his wife. And I wished him the best of luck. I said, this is one of the best programs I've ever participated in, that I've ever seen. And you won't see a program like that again.
Yeah, and I know you guys, George Duggan was telling me you guys were talking about a former Alex Cohen from Natick who just won the Bay State Conference MVP for basketball.
Oh, I told you when we had him when he was in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
I said to him, I said, by the time you get to high school, you're going to be an incredible basketball player. And when I saw the all-scholastic team and I saw him, there was no question. I was right. He turned out to be an MVP, and he turned out to be an incredible basketball player. I don't know what college he'll be playing at, but whatever college he's playing at, they're getting an incredible basketball player. Incredible.
Definitely.
Yeah, George, didn't you say he was 5'9" or something like that? Not a real tall guy.
I haven't seen him.
He's a guard.
I haven't seen him in high school.
George told me he was a guard. I just didn't know.
He was a guard. I don't know how tall he became. I don't know whether he became 6 feet tall. So I haven't seen him in high school.
Right.
I've never seen him in high school.
Yeah.
Right.
But I just thought the skill level that he had in the 7th grade, if he continued to work hard, I thought he would be an incredible basketball player in high school. And I don't know if he's going to Division 1, 2, or 3. It doesn't make any difference. Whatever coaches him are getting an incredible athlete, and not only that, a true gentleman.
Well, George, you may remember this name because he was a camper. Do you remember Will Weitzel? I think it was. He was quite an athlete. He was just drafted into Major League Lacrosse, George. I don't know if you saw that, but he was just drafted into Major League Lacrosse.
You didn't know that?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It just happened recently.
He was another one. He was another one who had. I was surprised he was that tall for that age.
Yeah, he was a big guy even in middle school. He was a big.
I'm talking about the height.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Nice gentleman, a nice classic guy. I never forget him. He was very, 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 very nice gentleman.
Yeah, he was quite the athlete.
We even have incredible athletes that come out of Rivers too. It's
incredible. Oh yeah.
What the kind
of
like
I said, you had a lot of athletes who went on to high school and went on to college and did very well. I don't know what they're doing now in terms of their life, but hopefully that they're doing well with their life. But like I said, I've seen so many young men and women as well who have done well, graduated from high school, gone to college, and have done very well. So like I said before, Rivers Day Camp, I truly enjoyed working, and I really enjoyed working with Doug and you as well, because we had a great time. Every day was a party.
It was awesome. It was definitely awesome. Hey, I wanted to know, George, were you there when Jim Dancy was there? He used to do track.
Yeah, he passed away.
I know. I found out a little while ago that he did pass away.
He passed away.
I found out about that. But
that was my main man. He was a nice guy. I've known him for many years, and it was just a pleasure to work with him. And it was a pleasure. I tried my best to get a lot of information on a lot of subjects in regards to him, and I would listen to him. And unfortunately, he passed away.
Yeah, I'll tell you, George. I was a little bit of a track guy. I got my letter in high school. Yeah. Did some spring track in high school in Brookline, and I'll tell you, once I started talking to Jim Dancy, he changed the way I used to run. And this was way after I was in high school, but he changed the way I used to run, because he said, Doug, you got short legs. You're a guy who should be running the 50, the 40,
Right.
short races, maybe 440 relay, 4x100, something like that. And you shouldn't be running long races because you don't have the legs for it. But he actually taught me how to run. He said, Doug, just do a 50 right now. And I did a 50. And then he would come up to me and he said, Doug, your arms should be a certain way. Your arms should be more relaxed. It looks like you're tensing up. This guy was so good.
Yeah,
and was teaching all these kids, even the little kids, how to just do better and get better. And it was just incredible how he did stuff.
Plus, he did a good job in terms of woodworking. He was excellent.
Yeah, he was really great with woodworking too.
He was excellent.
Woodworking stuff was just phenomenal too.
Yeah, he was excellent.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I know I used to do some imitations of him a little bit because he had a certain way of speaking, but he was just a fabulous guy and just taught me a lot too when I was a younger guy, when I was a younger counselor. He taught me a lot about that, about all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you, some of our conversations, you, George, and Robbie, just standing and waiting for the buses to roll, we're standing and we're talking about all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And that was fun too. That was
we had a good time. When camp was over and waiting for the buses, and we would have our conversations with the campers and the counselors. I thought that was a great time. That was a good time to just say, wow, it's all over. And then I remember we used to take the walk to our cars, and we were all retired. I definitely was retired.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'd be walking real slow. We'd be walking over we'd be walking over to the parking lot, which by the way was not like next to where we were. We had to walk to the parking lot. So it was one of those things, just crazy things. I had a couple. Robbie, do you have any other questions? I wanted to know.
What I wanted really quick was, George, do you remember those couple summers when they had the Chinese groups come and spend time? Do you remember?
I remember that.
What in particular would always imitate me? Charles. Yeah. My buddy Charles.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. I thought that was it was a change program.
Yeah.
And when they came over, they had a great time. Okay, and they wanted to come back. And that just tells you how much the staff really did a great job, that they would want to come all the way back the following year.
Yeah, they loved it.
That was incredible.
They loved it here.
I think Ed came up with that plan. I thought it was excellent. And I remember that gentleman who
Charles.
Who wanted to be like Robbie. I remember that. He wanted to be like Robbie. See, Robbie, because you had that thing over him where he respected you, and he loved, and you had a good relationship with him, and he wanted to be everybody like they say. I want to be like Mike. I want to be like. But he wanted to be like you, and that just shows you.
He was hysterical. He was hysterical.
Oh, he was funny.
Yeah, nice kid right there.
That kid.
Nice kid. Very nice
there
kid.
There he is. There's Chaz right there.
We got the picture.
We actually have a little video. We have not a picture. It's actually video. It's him saying Robbie Johnson.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
That's in the cafeteria.
That was one of the highlights for me. Was like, just when Ed told me that like he wanted to change his name to mine, I thought that was the funniest thing and the most complimentary thing ever. Like, that was great.
That was you're right, Robbie. That was probably the ultimate compliment. And you did a great job with him and all the other kids. You did a great job, man. You guys were awesome. And like I said,
George, I learned from you, man. Like I gotta say, just personally here, like, you were like a big role model for me at that camp. Like, I still remember, one of the highlights of my camper experience was you giving me your shirt. Like, that was,
yes, I remember.
That was like, cause like you didn't give your shirt out a lot. So like to get you, to get
Never. George never did that.
to get George's shirt was just like the ultimate, just like
Stu was another one.
yeah,
Stu was another one.
yeah. No,
Oh,
I mean,
he gave one to Stu too? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He
But,
gave one to me.
I don't know. Well, he wasn't a camper.
I'm a little upset, George. Because, oh, yeah, that's right. I wasn't a camper.
He wasn't a camper. But
I
Stu,
wasn't a
remember
camper when he
Stu.
was around. That's right. That's
I
right. I
remember
was always a
Stu.
counselor.
Stu
I was
was
always a
a track
counselor.
guy. Stu was a track guy, and now
Oh,
that
yeah.
Stu was such a nicest gentleman.
oh yeah,
I really enjoyed working with him. He was the nicest gentleman. And I remember when he was a camper, and I gave him my shirt, and he was like, "George, you got to be kidding." I said, "No, you deserve it. You did a great job during the summer, and you're a leader." He was a leader from the get-go, just like
Yeah.
Robbie. He was a leader.
yeah.
He's
It
late.
was. I like I said, I still remember my first summer as a counselor, as like a full counselor. George and I shared a swim group. That in the pad.
This is going to be a
single
great
day.
story. I want to hear this one.
We had some interesting kids in our swim group. 'Cause
Oh, yes.
we had I don't know if you remember Mike Winterson. We had Jake Sobel. We had like a bunch of guys who just like they were hysterical. But when you were like dealing with them, you like pull. You know, it was just they could get so frustrating sometimes. But we
it's just the
managed
personality. Yeah.
we managed them. It was fun.
It's the personality of you got to remember, these are preteens or teens,
Yeah.
and it's a tough group to deal with. Okay, and then and again, some will be good leaders, some will not. But we have to work with them, and we have to show them that this is the things that we want to show you a good time, because day camp or overnight camp should be a good time for campers.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It should be. And we should go beyond the call of duty to make sure that every child has fun swimming. What is that called? I'm trying to think with the arrows.
Archery.
Archery.
Yeah.
I thought the archery program was excellent.
For Bernie, Phil, Will.
Bernie and Phil. And we're not talking about the furniture store.
They did a great job. I think that was excellent. I thought that was an excellent program. I
Yeah,
thought
archery
there
was
was a
great.
few years that I thought the tennis was great. The only problem with tennis is this because of the hot 90-degree weather.
Oh,
other than
I
that,
thought it was because of me.
No, I think when I first got there, I remember guy who did the Bohan. I think he was a tennis instructor.
Okay. That was before my time.
I think you're right. I remember one.
I can't think of his name, but he was.
Are you talking about Brian? Are you talking about Brian?
Yes.
I thought you did soccer.
He did soccer and tennis.
Okay.
Oh, he did.
Okay.
He actually did tennis. Yes, he did tennis before he did soccer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he did tennis. He was an excellent tennis player. He did everything. I told him, I said, I've never seen anybody who was multi-skills with him. I mean, he did everything. He once said he was worked for the Celtics.
Yeah, he was like he helped with the mascot, or like was the mascot or something like that. Yeah. For a number of years, he would do that.
Nice gentleman. Yeah, it was just a great. The camp was just a great experience for me, and I truly enjoyed it. And I'm sorry it's gone now. So I have good memories of my days, my 17 years there. It was great.
Yeah, I still remember. I'm sorry, Robbie. I still remember we're doing the swim thing. I still remember. I know you had some breaks sometimes during the day, and you used to come down to the waterfront all the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was a couple times when you came down, and I was teaching a group, and I couldn't. I always keep your eye on the kids. You never take your eyes off the kids.
Right.
And even as they're coming out of the water, you never turn around. You're always coming backwards out of the water because it's really important. And this is what we learned. We learned this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So as I'm coming backwards out of the water, out of the corner of my eye, I can see you. You're near the tee dock where the beginning of the tee dock where it's going on. And I remember yelling over to you. I said, "George, where's your swim trunks? Want to help me do this?" And you looked at me. And was like, "No, I do not. I am no. I've been there, done that. Do not want to do that at all. I remember I was down at boating too, Robbie, and I
Oh,
did the
yeah.
same thing. He came down. We were just talking about some stuff. I said, "Hey, George, want to take a boat out?" He said, "No, I want to take a boat out. I don't want to do that." So
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. It's also interesting, Robbie. The philosophy that George just talked about was the fact that the kids are number one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That
Oh, yeah.
philosophy was taught to me
Mhm.
when I was first and I'd say about 1980 or so.
Mhm.
Yeah, 1980. I was 13, 14 years old.
Right.
And 1980, I was CIT,
Mhm.
and I had Jim and Lloyd
Right.
as my Jim Schreider,
Mhm.
and Lloyd also, and they taught me that this was the way. This
Mhm.
was the Paul and Mark way. And the
Right.
Paul and Mark
Yeah.
way is that this camp is not about counselors. It's about kids.
Right.
And you hit it the nail right on the head when you talk about that, because that kind of went into my brain, and I said, wow, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And some of these young kids didn't understand that.
When I first interviewed with Mark, 17, because I wasn't going to take the job, and he said that it was all about the kids, nothing else. He says,
Right.
not about me, nothing. It's all about the kids. And so he said, if you're interested on coming out, you're welcome. I'll hire you. So I said, well, I'll give it a few weeks. And after a few weeks, it don't work out. I told him I'm not coming anymore. So he said, okay. So we made that deal, and then started coming out, and I got more accustomed to the system because it was all about the system.
Oh, yeah.
When you knew, unless someone, so what you have to do is just look at the system. This happens at this time. This happens at that time. This happens on Monday. This happens on Friday. And I remember on Fridays and Mondays, they had the cookout.
Oh,
You know that for a fact.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the time. Oh, yeah.
I miss
Always.
those cookouts so badly.
Ah.
They were awesome. They were awesome.
They were
That's
so
why I
good.
was kind of upset when they built the athletic building. We had to go into the
Right.
cafeteria.
Yeah.
Because it was great. It
Yeah.
was great.
Well, what I
Those
loved about the
cookouts were
cookouts is we didn't have to serve the kids.
No.
I mean, yeah, there were people serving some stuff, but we didn't have to serve them at
Get in
tables.
line. Didn't they get in line?
Yeah, they got in line. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they got in their own line. Now there was, people if there was coleslaw, potato salad, or something, corn. We had corn on the cob every once in a while too. I remember that there were counselors doling out that stuff, but other than that, we weren't bringing over a tray and doling out stuff to people. And it was so much easier to be able to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
So much easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just what I remember about, it just, when George had said that before, it just kind of clicked in my head. I said, this is the philosophy of Rivers Day Camp. Absolutely the philosophy of the Rivers Day Camp. Hire teachers and make sure the kids come first. Kids are first priority. Make sure that the kids are happy and having a good time, because if they do, they will come back.
Yes.
And they did come back.
They did.
Even counselors came back.
Yes, counselors came back.
So many people and that's why I loved Rivers, because I could look forward to every single summer, coming back and seeing George and seeing Larry and seeing Russ and seeing Doug and seeing Stu, Andrew, all these guys. It was kind of like a little family. It
That's what I liked about it. I just thought it was and it was interesting being a minority coming out there. Basically, I was treated like a king. I will never forget it. So because I said to Mark, I said, well, Mark, I don't. He said, George, if you have any issues, you come and see me, and I will resolve them. Point blank. That's just the way he said it. Never had a problem. 17 years. Got along with everybody, all the campers, all the staff. Never had any issues with anyone. Nothing. I just loved it, and I would tell my friends, "Oh man, I work at a great place. The people are so nice. It's just unbelievable, and we have a great time. It's like a party. It's a party every day."
It
Yeah.
is. It
Oh, yeah.
absolutely was. It absolutely was. And again, I think again the hiring of the
They
hiring
hired
process.
really well there.
They hired
good
exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Having kind of that the base of
Right.
like Mark and Ed and Jim Navoni, having that base, at least in the boys' camp, was absolutely huge. And having Jim Navoni finally become, Ed was the boys' head in my day, in my camper day.
Same here.
Yeah, my camper day. And then having him become the director and having then Jim Navoni slip into the boys' head was perfect.
It was natural progression.
Natural progression.
Yeah.
Unbelievable natural progression. And hiring the right people, except for Daryl.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. Gerald. I said Gerald.
Oh yes, my man. Yeah, he's nice people, man. I miss him. We had some great conversations.
I'm just kidding.
You guys bring up those pre-camp conversations, and like just my mind goes wandering back. Because those are some of the funnest just memories. Just sitting around, just talking about like everything. Like listening to George and Russ talk about sports from back in
Russ Halloran. Halloran played for the Red Sox, right?
Oh yeah, playing the Red Sox. He always told us, about how he played for the Red Sox minor leagues. He had some of the best stories. But yeah, listen, it just the conversations.
You're the man.
The conversations were hysterical too. Like some of these conversations, I remember like listening to Joe Cataldo try to talk basketball with George was one of the most funniest things I think I've ever heard in my entire life. Like,
Joe, listen. Joe was awesome. But
Joe's
he
the best.
did not know sports if he fell over it. But that's okay. He was a good guy.
He was a great guy. No, he was the best.
Great guy. He just could not talk like he could talk when it came to sports. It just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. And I'll tell you. Go ahead.
This question: the camp across from our River State campus, they're still operating?
None such. Robbie, do you know if it's still operating?
They're not operating this summer, but yes, they are still operational camp. Yeah, they didn't do it this summer, but they have been the past couple summers, even with River.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what
we had Mr. Witt and his wife go over there, and they were traders. No, I'm just kidding. They were part of us, right? They were part of us.
Yeah, because I remember the last time I saw him and her was they were working over across the river.
Yeah, I remember they used to they came to the camp because they did after camp.
Yes,
at
they
Rivers.
did.
So they did a full day at Nunsuch, and then they would come to the camp. And
I would
see them, and they do after.
He would be down at the old gym.
Yeah.
Or maybe in the up in the cafeteria, one of the two. He would be at. And that's the only time I get an opportunity to sit and talk to him, and then that was it. And I would leave.
So George, how many times did you see Mr. Witt fall asleep during the basketball games?
Well, I can't comment on that.
You can't comment on that. You're not allowed to comment on that. Or did you sign something with Larry?
I've never seen him go to sleep, so I don't know. I can't comment on it.
I can't comment on that. Okay, well, I won't badmouth Mr. Witt because I love the guy. He was awesome. He taught me a lot of stuff too. When him and I were part of the upper camp, Robbie, you too. He was Robbie and I. You and I just talked about this recently. He was the guy to go to if we couldn't get to one of the kids. Get to meaning if we talked to one of the kids and the kid several times and the child just kept doing the same thing over and over again, we would say, okay, guess what? Time to go to Mr. Witt now.
Yeah.
Because then I'm not going to tell you how many times. You know what? We even had a conversation with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
We had a conversation with Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was down by the water. I remember it was last period, and Joe was a counselor. Oh, it's before he was a counselor. He was a camper. He was a camper, and we were down by the water, and I think we had boating. And
Right.
Joe was just fooling around way too much. And I talked to him probably 2 or 3 times. And again, Joe's a good kid. He became a counselor.
Mhm.
This was before he became a counselor. So I talked to him a few times. And then I went up to Mr. Witt. I said, Mr. Witt, Joe's still fooling around. I haven't been able to,
Right.
I've been able to talk to him a few times, but I don't think he's getting it. So
Right.
let's see if we can have a conversation.
Mhm.
And this was last period. So
Mhm.
we had that 15, 20-minute period where we could, at least 10 minutes, we could talk to him.
Right.
And we talked to him. I remember sitting him down on that log that we had down there, sitting down on the log, and Mr. Witt was on one side, I was on the other side, and we just talked to him. And it turns out that he was just, kind of bumming that day or whatever. He was, kind of whatever. But it
Mhm.
was so great to be able to have Mr. Witt as that older, because he was old. No, I'm just kidding. That extra piece to be able to help me
Mhm.
with whatever I had. And it was great working with him. Great work.
Oh yeah.
Taught me so much. And even after he, obviously he had his knees replaced and everything like that, he was still going strong.
Mhm.
So just incredible. Just that kind of situation. But
Yeah,
our
and
conversation, yeah, go ahead.
we lost some. Unfortunately, during my 17 years there, we besides losing dancing, we also lost Mark's father. The gentleman that used to
Paul.
it was his name Bernie as well, passed away.
Did Bernie?
Glasses.
He was down at woodworking.
Yeah,
Wasn't he at woodworking too?
yeah, he passed away too.
Oh, he did too. Okay.
Yeah, the
No,
one with
I
the
get it.
glasses, white guy with the glasses, nice guy. Yeah.
Yes. I know. I know. Yeah, I know. I used to come in and say hello to Bernie all the time.
Yeah. So we lost some. Unfortunately, we lost some great people who love children and they work very hard. And it's very difficult. And also the fact that nowadays, because of this virus going around, you guys and well as a lot of programs that would be going on uh, didn't happen. Some programs have continued, but they're scaled down.
Yeah.
Much because of the virus. So I'm just hoping next summer that a lot of these kids who didn't get an opportunity to go to any kind of camp, I hope they get an opportunity to go back to camp or go to a day camp or overnight camp where they didn't get an opportunity just because of the virus. So
Yeah.
Without
I
a
just wish
doubt.
them the best
Without a
success,
doubt.
No,
Without a doubt.
I totally agree with that, George. Absolutely. Did you go on any of the overnights and the overdays? Did you do any of that stuff?
I remember the overnights. I remember the
Okay, you do.
overdays. I went to the overnights.
What was your favorite
Okay.
overnight?
The overnights were okay. The overday, I enjoyed
Oh,
the
you like the
overdays
overdays?
better than I did the overnights. The overnights, they get kids start eating all that candy and that sugar that keeps them awake. And I just like I said before, it all depends on who the campers are. But majority of the time, the campers were fine. They would go to sleep and that was it. They were fine. Some were not, but that happens in any kind of group. But anyway, Miss Weston, so it's almost 9 o'clock. And so I need to shut off. But let me explain something to you. I truly enjoyed going back to yesteryear with Robbie and you as well. Please, thank you so much.
No,
And like I said, Doug, when you called me, and I said, "Hey, how you doing, Doug?" I'm very happy to be there. I'm very happy to see Robbie. Robbie,
George,
when I think of River State Camp, there's only one person I think of automatically. It's Robbie.
Well, I do too. Everybody does.
Likewise, George. I mean, like I said, it has been awesome catching up with you. Before you go, there's one last thing since we brought up the overdays. One of my favorite memories from the overdays is watching George just lose it to Shake Your Tail Feather. That was your song back in the day.
Yeah, I love that song.
We would play that song all the time at the overdays. Even sometimes, like at camp, we'd find a way to put it on.
Yes.
And George would just be going crazy. to it. That, I mean, that was like that was your song, and it was
That was my
awesome.
song. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. Well, listen.
Hey,
let me
George,
Thank you, George.
George, I just want to tell you before you go, I know for a fact, first of all, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
We enjoyed
Oh,
so
thank
much going back to the old days, yeah, sure. old days with you at Rivers Day Camp.
Mhm.
First of all, I definitely want to keep in touch with you. So let's keep in touch.
Absolutely.
And when this virus out there starts to dissipate and go away a little bit, we should have a little bit of a reunion. Let's get together.
Right.
I don't care if I have to go to Boston and see you. I don't care. Let's just get together so we can talk in person instead of the Zoom stuff. But definitely, well, I do have a couple of people that wanted to say hello to you. So if just if you wait just 2 seconds, this is not like it should be on Zoom, but hold on just 2 seconds. Hold on.
Good old George, like I was saying, it's been great talking to you. I mean,
you too.
You
make me feel like an old guy, Robert.
It is awesome. Hey, you know what, man? I'm out of my 20s now. I turned 30 years old last March, George. So I'm getting. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting up there. But listen, I mean, I miss Rivers. I miss camp, and I miss but catching up with you and just talking about this stuff has been the most incredible. It's been awesome. It's been really awesome, and we have a special guest saying hello.
Yeah, we have a couple of people that want to say hello to you. One that never went to Camp Rivers, and another one.
How are you?
Another one. Yeah, that's Deb, of course, my wife, Deb.
Yeah, I remember Deb.
And someone who started as a young girl at Rivers that really wants to say hello to George because she misses you.
That's my girl there.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Grown woman now.
She'll be
Wow.
17 in a week. She'll be 17 in a week, George.
Grown woman. Well, how you doing?
I'm good.
You look great. Wow. Time waits for no one. I can remember when you were young, and look at you now, young lady now.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Hey, George, the reason I wanted her to go to Camp Rivers was because I wanted her to have the same experience I did at Rivers. The same experience, which is a growing experience, the social experience, the growing, the doing things with people, all this kind of stuff. I know that one of the best things, and my daughter's not a sports kid, but I will tell you, and I'll tell you this right now, she is not a sports kid, but her favorite sports event, basketball, would you?
Oh, absolutely.
We had a good time.
I mean,
We had a good time.
Only thing I didn't like was, getting stung by the bees.
Yeah, but that's okay. that was an unforeseen kind of situation, so that was unavoidable, unfortunately.
But it's so good to see you. I wish you the best of success when you go to college and get all A's, get on the dean's list, and do well.
Oh, yeah.
I wish you the best of luck.
She's doing really well. It's been a tough semester, obviously, with the virus, but tough semester and a half, I think. But looking forward, she's starting the college search right now, and we'll see what goes on. But I said George is going to be on, and she said, I want to say hello to him. I haven't seen him in such a long time.
She grew up to be a beautiful young lady.
Well, thank you so much, George. Absolutely, thank you so much. Thanks, Alana.
You're welcome.
It's a rare occurrence that I have her on the podcast.
Okay. Well, listen, I gotta go.
All right. Thanks again, George.
George, thank you so much.
Okay.
Right,
Take care. George. We'll keep in touch.
Definitely.
We'll talk soon.
Okay. Yeah, that was nice.
Oh wow, Robbie.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was absolutely fantastic. It's fantastic. Absolutely.
I think he's still on.
I think he's still on. He's trying to figure out how to turn it off. It's the red button on the left. Or it might be the green button on the right. I'm not sure which. I like the fact that his picture's still up. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's
It's kind of cool. I like that.
yeah. That classic. But
That was just a great episode right there. That was a great episode, Rob.
that was awesome. So I guess Doug, now since it's just you and I, do we want to sort of wrap it up with our final thoughts?
Yeah, I really think we should, Robbie, because nothing at all in the next half an hour or hour, whatever it is, nothing can top what we just had there.
Nothing at all.
So I think we should do our final thoughts, and I think we should have this as our episode, and that's what I think.
Yeah. No, I guess. Unless you want to go first, I'll go first, I guess.
Yeah, well, you go first. Sure, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, obviously Rivers Camp was a very special part of my life, and any chance we get to talk about it, whether it be with Jamie Rice or just you and I, or with George, I mean, it is just so much fun to reminisce on what was just such a special time in all of our lives, over the years. And I mean, listen, it's been the last time I spoke to George was the last day of camp when camp happened. That was, just for context, that was back in the summer of 2017. So it has been almost 3 years now since I've talked to that man. He taught me so much. I was not kidding earlier when I said he taught me so much of how I acted as a counselor and just in everyday life. I mean, that man is a big role model for me. I know he's been a big role model for so many other campers that have come through Rivers over the years. And to have him on, was just, that was incredible. That was absolutely incredible, and I loved it. It was a great show. It absolutely was.
It really was, and that's why I don't want to talk about anything else. I mean, I don't want to even talk about the sports that are coming up.
End it right there.
Yeah, I got to end it. It's one of those things where if you have a good thing, don't push it, because you never know what could happen. So I think my final thought is that I just think that, and I don in the hat and I got the shirt on.
I didn't.
No, that's okay. That's all right. It's not a big deal. I just happen to find them, and if you can see in the background, that's really River shirts in the background. I probably have about 10 of them, and I don't even know how I got that many. By the way, don't tell Ed, because I don't know if I paid for it. And anyway, don't forget that. But anyway, what it comes down to is Rivers was a part of so many lives. So many lives, whether you were a camper there, whether you were a CIT or counselor there, whether you worked on the waterfront, or you worked in archery or tennis, or just a general counselor, or you worked in art, or you worked in woodworking. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what you were doing. The fact is that it was a great camp. The experience, I wanted my daughter to experience the same experiences that I did at this camp.
Yeah.
And because it was around for so long, we could go back every single year and have that same great experience. And that is because of Mark and Paul and Ed and everybody who was in the kind of the upper echelon of the camp itself. Paul and Mark developing the camp to where it was today. Not today, but a while back.
Yeah.
But they're the ones who developed the philosophy. And the philosophy, George just said what the philosophy was. It was right there. Even after 17 years, he still remembers that. And this is 17 plus years. I mean, he was there for 17. So it was just an incredible experience. I personally want to do more of these because
we've got some other Rivers
we've
guests
got some
in the
other Rivers
pipeline.
guests coming up down
Yeah.
down the road. And I think it's just going to be a great experience for us because we're going to remember. It's like the good old days. It's like what I call old school camp. Old school camp is just having a good time, drinking bug juice, doing a little archery, playing a little b-ball, playing flag football, but it's really tackle. Bombardment with the real white balls.
Eating cookies outside at the snack table. They always
the snack table outside, right? The cookouts, the overnights.
Yeah. Over days, everything.
The over days to the Pawtucket Red Sox or the Gillette Stadium. All these things are part of the history of this camp.
Oh, yeah.
And my final thought is that I am super sad that it is gone because I wanted more and more generations of people and kids to experience the same experience that I experienced.
Yeah.
And it's too bad that it is around, but we can keep it alive.
For the memories.
Keep it alive in the memories by keep adding these kinds of episodes to the Sports Blitz and making sure that we keep these memories of this camp alive. And that's my personal opinion on the whole thing.
No, you're up 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, it's
absolutely. And I'll tell you, when George starts rolling, that's why I wrote you.
Yeah, that's why we
roll, man.
I just sat back and watched you listen to and watch you two go at it there. I was just like, I'm just soaking it all in, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Great. That was a great episode.
It was really, really wonderful. I can't say enough about George. I'm gonna, give him a buzz probably in the next couple of days just to thank him for being on and just to keep in touch and that kind of thing. But again, Robbie, great episode. This is episode number
47.
47, episode number 47. This is the special Rivers number 2. Rivers 2.
Well, technically it's number 3 because we talked about Rivers.
Right. It is 3. It is 3. This is the second guest. Second guest. That's what I meant. True. But yes, technically it is the episode number 3 of episode number 47 of the Rivers Day Camp episode. Wow, that was too much to say.
A lot of words.
A lot of words. Too many words there. But again, had a great time, Robbie. Yeah. Episode 47. Episode 48 is going to be even not better, but it's going to be as good.
Live sports are back, people.
That's right.
Live sports are back.
So we're going to have a lot to talk about. And we do have some guests coming down the road to talk about Rivers and talk about sports.
Yeah.
So we do have some guests down the road that we're thinking about. If you have any ideas, we are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on SoundCloud.
Twitter, everywhere.
Hit us up. Yeah, Twitter. Also, hit us up with ideas that you may have to talk about sports or to have special guests. We'll try to get them on.
Yeah.
And again, hey, great episode, Robbie.
Yeah.
And I'm Doug. That's Robbie.
Yeah.
This is the Sports Blitz. Have a good night.